Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today you are going to have a little special treat. I had a special treat and so I'm excited to share it with you. This, by the way, is Book Talks with Miss Thomas, and I upload Sundays. I like to do a little short that points to the video that's going to come out Wednesday, and Wednesday is usually my big video where I edit and put thought. Not that I don't put thought into everything else, but you know, I really do like a book that I've read that I want to thoroughly review. But I'm finding on Fridays it's occasionally nice to have just a little quick impromptu video, because I'm finding that things are coming up that are also interesting that I want to share with you. So today I'm really excited to share something. We have a new media specialist at my school. Now, the previous media specialist was also wonderful and lovely. She retired. We have this new media specialist, and she brings with her all of this creative energy and these wonderful, just neat ideas and things. And in particular today, I was in the library or media center, and I saw all these yellow stars on all the books. And so I asked her, what do the yellow stars mean? And she said, well, the yellow stars mean that it's a new book, that, you know, I just purchased it and I'm putting it out and I want the students to be aware of something new that's been added to the library. I thought that was genius. I just really love that idea. And I guess she could tell because the rest of whatever she said to me, I was looking at all the yellow stars, trying to see what the new books were. You know, it was so exciting. And she finally said, well, would you like to have a look? And oh, yes, please, right? So I went and I looked around at all the books, and I want to share with you the one that I picked. I checked out. It is Mary's Monster. See the yellow star? Isn't that cute? I was so worried she was going to take the yellow star when she checked out the book, but I get to keep my yellow star. 50 years old and I still want a gold star. But yes, I thought that was just the greatest thing. So Mary's Monster by Lita Judge. And the reason I selected it is because if you do follow my videos in order, on Sunday night, I had my, you know, can you guess my 3 whiners that are going to be covered on Wednesday? And on Wednesday, I said, I think I might have put it in the video description, that one of your hints is that it's October. And so, of course, my 3rd whiner was not Frankenstein the monster, but Dr. Victor Frankenstein, because I root for the monster. I mean, he's done some terrible things in the book, but I really sympathize with him. I think he got a raw deal. So when I saw this book, it went perfectly with, you know, our theme this month. You know, the Frankenstein book that I brought up. I'm going to try to talk a little bit about spooky books, maybe not horror genre per se, but spooky books that I want to share with you. And Frankenstein, of course, was right at the top of my list. And if you have not read the actual Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, please do. I argue with my oldest son all the time that his education is just less than because he didn't read Frankenstein. It really bothers me that he was not required to read Frankenstein in school. If he were not a grown man now, I would force him to read Frankenstein. And he is not here to tell you, but there have been many a conversation where I've said, you really should read Frankenstein. It's not just about the little green guy, you know, with the stitches on his head. It's actually a very deep and profound book with all kinds of wonderful, thought-provoking themes. So I wanted to share with you a little bit from Little Mary's, I'm sorry, not Little, Lita Judge is the author, and it's Mary's Monster. I just checked it out today, so, you know, I'm not completely well-versed in it, but I'm really thrilled about it. And I started to read it right away, and I was looking through it, and I wasn't really sure how I would classify this book. Is it a collection of poetry? Is it a graphic novel? I wasn't sure, and so I looked online. I Googled it, and it is actually a biography. It's actually classified as a biography of Mary Shelley, but the artwork is just spectacular. And I want to read to you the introduction. And before I read to you the introduction, I'm going to show you some artwork because I have to put on my glasses to read the introduction, and they have, I have to warn you, they have transition lenses, so it might look a little strange. because I'm outside. I just can't resist this fall weather. I love fall weather and just the cool breeze and the crunchy leaves. And there's something so special about a book, you know, the stiffness of a new book and the weight of it in your hands. I'm just thrilled. I wanted to share, that is one of the illustrations in the book. That's Mary Shelley as a teenager. And there is the monster, Frankenstein. And I had said in my video Sunday night, you know, as a hint, that the book involves voyages, because there's that parallel plot of the two different voyages. So there's an illustration of the voyage. I mean, I could just go on and on. This is such a beautiful book. Little bit of romance in the book. So I will jump to that. I will read you the introduction because, you know, it breaks my heart that people, when they think of Frankenstein, they think of the green guy. You know, I want you to know there's so much more to Frankenstein. I don't know. Put that on my tombstone when I die. Here lies Miss Thomas, and she wants you to know there's so much more to Frankenstein. Go read it. So sorry about the transition lenses on my glasses, and even the cover. I mean, it's just so beautiful. I'm going to read you the beginning because you may know Frankenstein and you may know a little bit about Mary Shelley, but in case you don't, you must. So here's the introduction, and it's only one page, but please bear with me. I'd like to read it to you. Because it tells you so much about Mary Shelley, and I don't know if I could put it quite as well. So, introduction. The novel Frankenstein, or the modern Prometheus, written by Mary Shelley and published in 1818, is one of the most famous and enduring works of the Romantic era. Nearly everyone, oh, by the way, can I just say that too? When you think Romantic era, it's not like chocolates and flowers necessarily. It's a period of time. So anyway, enduring works of the Romantic era. Nearly everyone has some knowledge of this book, but few know that its author was a pregnant teenage runaway rejected by her family and spurned by society. In the story, Victor Frankenstein is a science student consumed by an ambition to bring the dead back to life. Using the assembled parts of human and animal cadavers, he succeeds in creating a man. But instead of being thrilled, Frankenstein is repulsed by and rejects his creature without compassion or sense of responsibility. Yeah! That's how I feel too. I don't like Dr. Frankenstein. He should have had responsibility and compassion. The creature is left to feel so miserable and alone he turns monstrous. Mary's novel is a cautionary tale warning readers of the horrible outcomes that can result when man attempts to conquer nature. It is also a radical social criticism of her day. Defying the restrictions put on women, Mary was the girl brimming with ideas that women were equal to men and that all people were entitled to justice and freedom. Can I say yeah again? Yeah. She ran away with a married man, Percy, I'm not sure, Bushy Shelley. I always heard Percy Shelley, you know, who was a poet and had radical political beliefs. Together, the young couple fought against strict social conventions by daring to believe love and human reason could reform a tyrannical world. Mary also changed the course of literature. She invented the industrial age science fiction novel, sculpted the first mad scientist archetype, and delivered the most iconic monster ever to have been created. Mary's creature has inspired writers, filmmakers, and theater producers for the past 200 years. Say Frankenstein, and most people will conjure up a vision of the monster. He has been altered in later adaptations, developing from an articulate and intelligent soul, which is how he was written, to a groaning, lobotomized version of himself. Even the way he is referred to has morphed from namelessness to a being with the surname of his fictional creator, Frankenstein. By the themes in Mary's story But the themes in Mary's story remain, and it is a testament to her creative genius that she developed a creature so indelible he lives on eternally. So thank you so much, Mary Shelley, for your wonderful, wonderful book. She was a pregnant teenager who ran off with a married man whose wife then committed suicide. And I mean, it's just a fascinating life. Her parents were also quite famous. Her mother was a famous feminist writer. I want to share one more thing, which I just thought was so cool. What they were reading. So if you ever think like, oh, I'm going to become the great, the next great novelist, which I thought, when I was a teenager, definitely didn't happen. But I love my job. I love my life. I wouldn't trade it for anything. But I wanted you to see that it requires a lot of work. And so Mary Shelley, even though she was a teenager and she wrote such a brilliant book, there are pages and pages of really intense books that I guess made an impression on her and led to her writing of Frankenstein. So, I mean, it has here all kinds of things. This list is derived from the journals of Mary Shelley, 1814 to 1844. So according to her journals, all of this stuff that she has read, it's so impressive. And of course, much of it it's just so much that she has read and had such an impression. Again, I leave you with the art in her book. This isn't Mary Shelley's book. This is Lita Judge's book about Mary Shelley and the creation of the monster Frankenstein. So I'm going to end there. Some of this has just left me speechless, but I wanted to share this book with you, and I highly encourage you to go and read Frankenstein for yourself. And if you need to dip your toe in the water a little bit first, this is a great place to start because it's just got all kinds of little, they're like poems and little blurbs. I don't know if vignette is the right word, but there's all kinds of interesting little texts and beautiful illustrations that give you some background on Mary Shelley, the author of Frankenstein. And then please go out and read Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. Bye-bye.